Welcome, everyone. So, today it's a bit of theory, but it's a very important theory on AWS architecture. So, in AWS, there is a funda known as AWS well architected. So, this is used to build the best practices in your uh, infrastructure of AWS, application deployments, and all the things like 360 degrees. So, what are the six pillars of AWS well architected framework? Let's see. So, how do you access that? Just Google it, AWS well architected framework, and you should get to this particular URL, right? And now, what are the six pillars here? The number one pillar is operational excellence pillar. So, it is like focusing on like running and monitoring of systems and continually improving the process. Security, as the name suggests, is the security. That is CIA traits like confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Reliability is fault tolerance and your on-demand meetups for the requirements, right? Recovery planning, DR, and all these things. Performance is your, application performance, like size optimization, what are the EC2 instance you should use. Then cost optimization. One experience I must share with you is like if the organization or the senior management doesn't like plan the move to cloud, it might happen that you are spending more on cloud than on your on-premise. So cost optimization, like how to get the best out of the cloud migration, also known as now FinOps, which is getting traction nowadays. This is what cost optimization pillar will always, help. There are many tools like Cost Explorer, Trusted Advisor in AWS, Budget, then Budget Alarms, which we have configured. These are all there to help us to highlight the cost and also reduce the cost. Then the sixth pillar is sustainability. Like AWS is very much into like CO2, carbon footprints and other things, minimization. So that's why there are some new things coming in. For example, your serverless computing, you are not using any of the EC2 instance, no infra as such. So you are reducing the usage of your electricity, CPU, and in turn you are saving the environment in terms of global warming and electricity usage, right? So when you come to this page, there are many other things you can understand here. Let's go to one of them is AWS Architecture Center. And in this AWS Architecture Center, there are many other applications given for you to have a look and check whether you are in compliance with the best practices, right? So let's say I want to look into, for example, compute, right? When I do, so it has, see, deploy microservices to multiple AWS accounts and regions, all these things. There are so many pages. Let's go to number 4. See, migrate DB2 to Amazon EC2 with HADR. All these things are there for our review and other things. Let's go to containers, which I am actually presently working on, and all these things, deploy an environment for containerized apps, right? All these things are there for you to review and check. So AWS is one of the best AWS cloud provider because of its documentation also. I really like its documentation a lot. For example, this is cost optimization pillar. How do you validate the cost and how do you minimize the cost and all these things? Then you have, many other things to take note of here. For example, if I go back to well architect thing, I can also go to lenses where there are some white papers. If I want to deploy some machine learning things, what are the best practices? And many of our uh, colleagues are working in government sectors and they're using AWS. So what are the best practices, right? What are the best practices for data analytics, healthcare industry, which is very, very important and well governed. So security is a prime concern there because of PII data of the patients and all these things. So yes, this is one of the best tools you have. For example, one of the where AWS well architected tools also is here. So you can check also the using the tool like you can review the state of your applications and workloads and define your workloads against them, and you can check it out, right? So that's it, guys, for this AWS well architected framework. And from your cloud practitioner exams purview, you just need to understand the 6 well architected framework which we just did here, and the pillars. This is the 6th one, right? So yeah, that's all for this particular lesson. See you in the next lesson. Thanks and goodbye.